Hey guys, so before I start this video, I have a few things I want to say really quickly. The first thing is, new set, not bad, not bad if I don't say so myself. Thank you. Second of all, I just want to say I'm sorry for the inconsistency between uploads. Things have been really crazy. I've been all over the place, but I'm gonna get better at it. I'm gonna get more consistent. I promise you from now on, there's not gonna be any more month-long breaks in between uploads. It's gonna be a lot more consistent, so you have that to look forward to. And on top of that, I just want to say one more time, I do have a Discord server. The link's gonna be in the description. You can join up and we can talk about your terrible music tastes and how much I hate you. So definitely do that. It'll be fun. So without further ado, I hate music award shows, like a lot. I mean, all award shows too, but mostly just music award. We're talking about music award. Just roll the thing. Now, a lot of you probably clicked on this video expecting this, whole long 20-minute video about how I hate the Grammys or about this year's nominations, but I'm still gonna talk about that. But I want to talk about a few other things that I think are a little bit more important than that, as well as go into other music award shows like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because also fuck them. But to kick things off, we need to talk about Tyler the Creator's IGOR and the 2019 Grammy Awards. "2019 was a great year for Tyler the Creator. After over 10 years of releasing music, Tyler finally was getting the attention he deserved from the mainstream. His biggest song off the record, Earthquake, was getting tons of radio attention. He was #1 in the Billboard charts over DJ Khaled's newest album, and he inevitably was nominated for a Grammy. But before we talk about the actual nomination, we need to talk about what actually made up the record. Ever since Tyler's debut mixtape, Bastard, every single album has singled around one genre: rap. Even on albums like Cherry Bomb and Flower Boy, which do feature segments of songs that don't have any rapping and only singing, there were still very large chunks of the album that were just rap songs, or that had almost entirely rapping on them. And even on Flower Boy, most of the singing was done by other people, and then Tyler would come in and rap, like on Boredom, where the first minute and a half is Rex Orange County, or on Glitter, where the first half of the song is just Estelle singing. But IGOR wasn't like that. Throughout the entire album, only 5 out of the 12 songs included rapping, and some of those 5 only feature a quick segment and quickly go back to Tyler and his features singing. In fact, if I'm being honest, I would really only consider 2 of the songs in the album to be real rap songs that I could play for a group of people and they would say, yep, that's rap. So with that in mind, of course I was surprised when he didn't get the nomination for Best Pop Album. He didn't get the nomination for Best Album of the Year, but instead was put into the rap category. And the weird thing was, look at all the other albums that were nominated. There's no doubt in my mind that all of these are 100% rap albums. But IGOR is so much more than that. So here's my comparison. Why is it that a band like 21 Pilots, whose album featured 8 out of 14 rap songs, can get nominated for Pop Duo of the Year, while IGOR, an album produced by a solo black artist, gets nominated for Best Rap Album of the Year and has much less rapping in it and is much more genre binding? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not saying that 21 Pilots is a rap group, because they're definitely not. They are definitely a pop duo. All I'm saying is that why doesn't Tyler get the same respect when his albums feature even less rapping than theirs do? It just simply doesn't make sense to me. And frankly, it didn't make sense to Tyler either.
I'm half and half on it. On one side, I'm very grateful that what I made could just be, acknowledged in a world like this. But also, it sucks that whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending or that's anything, they always put it in a rap or urban category, which is, and I don't like that urban word. It's just a politically correct way to say the N-word to me. So when I hear that, I'm just like, why can't we just be in pop? Why can't it just, you know what I mean? So I felt like half of me feels like the rap nomination was a backhanded compliment. Like, my little cousin wants to play the game. Let's give him the unplugged controller so he could shut up and feel good about it. That's what it felt like a bit.
But enough about that. Enough about Tyler. We have to talk about the real problem here, and that is the constant snubbing of popular artists with the Grammys. If you were watching this and are a fan of rap, and I asked you what the best rap album of all time is, I would probably get one of 2 answers. It's most likely either My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West, or To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. And if you have a different answer, good for you. You're special. Honestly, I couldn't care less. But I think that most people can agree with me. To Pimp a Butterfly is not only an album that will be forever ingrained in rap history, but an album that I would personally say is probably a top 50 album of all time. And that's with me trying to stay unbiased. So who in their right mind gave Taylor Swift's 1989 Album of the Year over Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly? Whose decision was this? Don't get me wrong, Taylor's album isn't bad by any means, but this would be the equivalent of giving, I don't know, Steely Dan's 2 Against Nature Album of the Year over Radiohead's Kid A. Oh wait, they did that too. So besides choosing a fairly forgettable Taylor Swift album over probably the greatest album of my generation, what about more recently? They couldn't have done it again, right? Oh no, they definitely did it again. For those who don't know, Cardi B, who makes music that in my opinion shouldn't have even been nominated in the first place, beat these 4 albums. And let me tell you something, any of these could have won over Invasion of Privacy, and I would have been hands up A-okay with it. 2 thumbs up from me. Daytona by Pusha T, which in my opinion is his best work, and let me tell you right now, he has a lot of good works. Swimming by Mac Miller, which was really hard hitting since he had literally just passed right when it was nominated. Astroworld by Travis Scott, which, I mean, come on, it's Astroworld by Travis Scott, I don't even need to explain myself. And of course, Nipsey Hussle, who never fails to make great music. So let me ask you this, if the decision was so easy, if it was so easy and everyone saw what the right answers were, how did they get it wrong? How did they continue to get it wrong? Because this was the end of the script. The video was going to be over after this, but guess what? Their newest nominations just came in, and let me tell you, they're almost worse. 0 nominations for Mac Miller's Circles, which in my opinion was better than Swimming, and in my opinion should be nominated for almost every award. Not to mention The Weeknd, who had probably one of the most critically acclaimed records of the year and received great feedback from fans, got literally 0 nominations as well in every single category. Not to mention favorites of mine like No Pressure by Logic, Pray for Paris by Westside Gunn, and Run the Jewels 4 got also snubbed. So what are they doing? What are they doing wrong? I just don't understand. Usually at the end of these I have a segment where I go, this is how you fix the problem, but it's literally so easy. It's right in front of your face. Just do what's right. Just do what's right. Talk to young people who understand music. You can't just sit in your little office and expect that you know more than the rest of the world does, because you don't. You don't know more. And it's so easy to see from the nominations you choose and the places you choose to put artists that you have no idea what you're doing and that you are so out of touch with the way that people think these days. Grow up and move out. I'm begging you. Whew. That felt good, I'm not gonna lie. But we have to kind of move on right now from the Grammys to a music award show that a lot less people talk about, surprisingly, because what they've been doing recently is really kind of odd, and I think it needs to be talked about. So let's talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is kind of nice. I get to talk about something other than rap for once, talk about some rock, go back to the classics. Oh, Biggie was nominated this year? And TUPAC won and was inducted 2 years ago? Okay, alright, let's just fucking talk about it then. What kind of whacked out dumb little boy brain do you need to have to think that Biggie and Tupac deserve a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame over bands like Motley Crue and Iron Maiden? And I don't want people watching this to think, oh, you think Motley Crue and Iron Maiden are better than Biggie and Tupac? No, I don't, because they're not even comparable, and that's the point. People in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should be making rock and roll music. And it's stupid that I have to say this. This would be the equivalent of me making a rap Hall of Fame and including Aphex Twin and Skrillex and Radiohead, and then throwing in Iron Maiden, and then after all those adding in Dr. Dre. And this is continuing to happen. Like I said, the one-off Tupac, at first I was like, okay, 2 years ago, whatever, they're adding in Tupac, no big deal. But then again this year, and now they're adding in Biggie. It just doesn't make sense to me. Not to mention that a year after Tupac was inducted, they finally inducted Sister Aretha Franklin, who, I don't know, whose nickname is the godmother of rock and roll. That's an afterthought. That is an afterthought. How is it that we've got to the point where we're adding in rappers into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame over the people who literally started rock and roll? That doesn't make any sense to me, and if it makes sense to you, turn this video off. I don't want to fucking talk to you. And like I said before, usually at the end of these videos, I have a segment where I talk about how these things can be fixed, and at the end of the day, there is literally nothing we can do. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Grammys both need to start taking accountability for the errors that they're making, because they're making a lot of them and they're happening fast. Music is an art form, and when you're in charge of being the judge of which art is better than others, it's important to be making decisions that are right. I don't understand how we've gotten to a point in the world where people like The Weeknd and Mac Miller and Fiona Apple are overlooked and are instead replaced with people like Doja Cat and Megan Thee Stallion and Post Malone. But then again, I'm just another white boy complaining on the internet, and I'm sick and tired of yelling at my camera. So until next time, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you like this new setup or not, whatever. I worked hard on it, so thank you for watching, and subscribe, god damn it. I deserve it.